All right. And hey, guys, welcome to the SNP podcast, episode 19. This is actually going to be a two-parter this week, and we're going to be doing another part 2 tomorrow. But today, we're going to be talking about the current events of the Amazon fire that's going on in the rainforest. We're going to be talking about how they're bringing back Elon Musk talking about nuking Mars, so we can probably get some terraforming going down.
Oh, yeah.
Some other news: cocaine, recreational use in Mexico. Wow. And Sony Marvel splits, and an asteroid headed for Earth. So, starting off, Carlos, do you want to start us off on the Amazon fire that's going on and how that's kind of a huge impact
Oh yeah.
on like what happens for everyone?
Yes. Yeah. So the Amazon fire, which has been burning for about 3 weeks now.
Yes.
And the amazing thing is that no one is talking about it. Like there are no major.
There's not many.
Nothing.
None of the news outlets have been talking about it until like recently. Like
I haven't even seen it in my Google feeds.
Oh, I started seeing in the Google feeds this morning because I got off work at 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started seeing it where it was like, oh, this gone live like 5 hours ago.
Wow.
And whatnot. It had been going viral on Twitter for like a couple days before any outlets, major outlets, were started talking.
Well,
about
I've actually been Googling about it, and I haven't even seen it in my newsfeed. So it's probably just propagating out there. But yeah, the problem with that is that what a lot of people don't know is that about 20% of the entire oxygen in the world, all of the oxygen in the world, 20% comes from the Amazonian rainforest.
Yeah, I mean, because it's, well, I mean, especially with a lot of the deforestation that's going on in other parts of the world, like it's the huge.
Yeah, even with the deforestation of the Amazon rainforest, it's still producing at least 20% of the entire oxygen in the world.
Yeah.
And then also the Amazonian rainforest, not only does it produce a lot of oxygen, it also consumes a lot CO2 from the atmosphere. So
yeah, because it transfers.
Because of it.
Through
so that means
photosynthesis.
at least we don't have as much CO2 in the atmosphere. That is, and at least the rainforest, it was taking a lot of, at least slowing down a tiny bit global warming. But now that it's burning, now there's all of the extra that it was consuming, that the rainforest was consuming. Now there's even extra because of all the burning that it's causing. So yeah, I've seen some pictures from Rio de Janeiro. I don't know if you can actually Google it. That we're actually like at midday. The entire city is just pretty much almost dark.
Yes,
So
I've been
seeing
see those pictures of it.
Yeah, those have been starting
crazy.
spreading through Facebook as of right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And because now they're kind of a little bit somewhat close to the city, so that now that people are taking pictures.
People worried more.
Yeah, coming up with it, and then also another thing that
Nobody cares until it starts affecting where you're living.
Yeah.
Well, and the crazy thing is, like, I didn't really see any on the news sources from America, but like, you go look like a lot of European like websites and whatnot, and like people who actually care about like real stuff that's happening, you'll see a lot more of those, and like that's why I found out about it. I was like, oh, really? That's actually happening. And the sad thing is, there are scientists that are actually like, well, hey, the people who don't believe in global warming, well, let's see what the data is going to look like in the next few years, because that's going to be a huge enough change.
Not only that, and then also one of the things that I'm really sad about the rainforest being gone is that pretty much every scientist knows that the cure for pretty much any illness is in the rainforest, because the amount of diversity in the rainforest, from animals, plants, and everything. There's a lot of there are a lot of chemicals that we cannot synthesize in labs yet. So there's a lot of medicine that currently that depends on a lot of synthesizing from actual plants and animals from the rainforest. That now those plants and animals they're either gone, they have moved, they've gone probably extinct because now they all got burned, and now some of those medicines, I don't know which ones yet, but I'm sure that in the upcoming weeks, when we know like about the aftermath about it, that we're gonna start seeing which medicines, which pills, which what's are gonna be hindered by all of this.
Okay, hold on. Quick rebar real quick. I forgot to introduce the people on the show because we don't have the regular cast we have. We have JR.
Cocoa Butter Snaps.
Cocoa Butter Earl 3000. And you got me, Kevin, and then we got Carlos, our tech analyst. And okay, now going back, and so going on with the whole rainforest fire and whatnot, the president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, it has been saying that it is due to the natural causes of the dry season where farmers would use fire to, do stuff. I forget what exactly. But something like this, and a lot of people have been, or at least, citizens of Brazil have been putting a lot of blames on Jair Bolsonaro because he is, he's probably in the lobbyist pockets of lumbering companies and whatnot. So, he's always been supporting companies that were causing a lot of deforestation at the hindrance of everyone else, and like native indigenous people of the Amazon. So he's saying that is issue, but everyone's like, no, that's bullshit. It's like this type of fires could only be caused by human intervention.
Yeah, someone set a fire somewhere, and now. Yeah.
And I mean, it's been burning for it's like I think it's on the 17th day as of today.
Damn.
On the 17th day, and we're just barely talking about it, and there's not even a task force. I don't think that's even set up to fight this fire.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the forest now it's so wide that where do you even start?
Well, yeah, I know they wouldn't where they would start, but I'm just saying, at least at one part, you could fight fire with fire. So they can do a controlled burn of a certain area, so the fire cannot spread outwards anymore.
At least slow it down, and
they can cut down some trees, start a fire and whatnot. So there's a firewall. Boom, they can't spread. At least we can cut it off. But I mean, like it has to take like people mobilizing some people to do it. I mean, look at the firefighters that we had in California when they were fighting all the redwood fires. Like that was up pretty quick.
Well, took them 3 months?
3 months?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes, it was a 3-month fight. At least 3 months.
Well, how long did it take them to mobilize though?
Oh, like a day.
Yeah, exactly.
But the problem is that because of when it happened in California, I think it was because it had been so dry that it just spread out way.
The drought.
Yeah, it was spreading out a lot quicker than they could actually control.
Yes, we are on Twitch actually. We're on all the platforms. So it's on a multi-stream.
But yeah, and then also one of the things about now.
Thank you, Crisis Red 34.
Because because of the fire, now because the Amazon forest, it not only does it provide oxygen, it also kind of like stabilizes the climate around the world, because it produces the forest, because it rains so much there. It also produces a lot of humidity, and a lot of that humidity just goes over to other parts of the world where it creates monsoon season, rainy season, and all of that. Now it's gone.
Okay.
And then also, speaking about global warming,
oh my God, there's so
many things.
With the impact of all, like Iceland or was it Greenland? Iceland. Let's go with Iceland.
Greenland.
Greenland
has ice. Iceland
Thank God.
is green.
So Greenland has like the last glacier has up and melted.
Oh no, that's Iceland. That's Iceland whose not last glacier. Well, one of the most popular glaciers. It's gone now.
It's melted.
Yeah, they said that they were looking at they were measuring the bottom of one of them, like one of the massive ones, and that it was just like it had shrunk, way more than it should have.
Yeah. And then also.
So with the impact of this, and then like another, like something that actually converts our greenhouse gases back into oxygen. This is gonna be a huge hit for all of us.
I do believe that we are well beyond past the the no point return.
Well, yeah,
because even just this week it was discovered that the North Pole, like pretty much every glacier in the North Pole, has water underneath them, even like even miles of ice, because the North Pole has miles of ice.
Yeah, permafrost and all that.
So they just discovered that actually underneath all of that ice, there's liquid water. That means that it's no longer cold enough to hold the ice in its shape. And that also means because the water, it's gonna start cutting over the ice, and that's how we get all of these massive glaciers just breaking off from the North Pole. So now that means it's pretty much it has started cutting the ice, and once all of that ice starts getting into the ocean and melting, that's when it's gonna cause a problem. I do believe right now that within the next 20 years or so, that's when the coastal cities are gonna be in problems. Because right now it's pretty much too late. The only way to save any of this will be to shut down all the factories tomorrow and keep them turned on, which it's not going to happen.
And also everyone has to be like vegetarians as well, because a lot of greenhouse gases is caused by the
cows, by the farts, farting cows.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things is that what we start looking at is I always say that science is usually the thing that moves us forward as people, and what we're going to come to is that there's going to be data from this. Something like this doesn't happen without data being changed. So we're going to be able to see that, hey, there was no change in the data, and then the people who still don't believe climate change exists, which I don't know how, but at least those people, if you don't believe in it, okay, nothing changes in data in the next 5-10 years, okay, then you have at least some type of argument. You can be like, well, why didn't that change that? But when that data does change, we can sit there and say, okay, well, look how severe this is. Maybe we need to start doing mass replanting of forest.
I don't think it's actually a problem with the data, because the people, it's a problem. I don't think the problem is with the people, because even if us three didn't believe in global warming, whether we believe or not, it doesn't really affect anything. The people that are in power, those are the ones, even if they believe in it, so many of them are still like, we are messing up the planet, but what do you want me to do? Shut down my factory? What do you want to do? Invest billions of dollars into replacing all of my machinery? Not gonna do that. And that's where the problem lies. With those people.
Well, the problem also lies with just like money being an object.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we have the capability to do a lot of things.
Correct. Yeah. For instance, remember when the church in France burnt down?
Yep.
Yeah, like
Notre Dame.
Yeah, within a day, within a couple of days, they already had the money to rebuild it.
Yeah, more than enough.
You had all of those you had all these millionaires just dumping in money, and very quickly, boom, everything got fixed. Now, where are those people? That literally shows us that if we actually care, we could get things done really quickly. Yeah, but. Because it's the rainforest. Like, who cares about some forest that I only hear about, that I never get to see? There's no public outcry for that, so that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's not until it's already too late and we're a dystopian society where we're just they've made a bunch of movies like that, like Total Recall, where everything's
Waterworld.
Where everything's all fucked. Mad Max,
I mean, realistically, that would probably be what happened. Waterworld, if all the glaciers and stuff melt, guess what happens? Water starts to take over.
Yeah.
Like, water's always gonna win. Mm-hmm. There's too much of it.
And what's happening with the rainforest? I mean, it's gonna take another 50 years before it grows back.
Yeah.
And then also not only that,
it'll take almost a century.
Well, the good thing is though, in situations like that, again, if people are mad enough and they look at the situation, they see that it's severe enough, that's what causes emergency. Hey, we need to replant all of this, and we actually need to plant more because it's going to take time.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that we look at. As humans, we destroy a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that, but we do. We destroy a lot of stuff. We destroy the boat that we're on. And there's just more and more of us. And eventually it's going to come to a point where we have to sit there and say, hey, like, where are we at? And a lot of people, it's like, I always get it's like the doomsday clock or something like that. And there's a bunch of people who sit there and they think about ways that we can go. And they already say that we're at over 50% of what this planet is able to hold of people before we use more resources than the Earth, has. And
Yeah, we're basically
screwed.
we're destroying the Earth faster than the Earth can heal itself at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. And about about speaking about getting off the rock and speaking about Mars.
Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about that. Like, so moving on to our next subject, Elon is talking about nuking Mars, so we can possibly be terraforming it.
Yes.
If I stand corrected.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Elon mentioned something that about nuking Mars. But I mean, he
like
doesn't
nuking
just
the ice caps, no?
Yes, yeah, because Elon doesn't just wanna carpet bomb the entire planet with nukes. He wants to, explode a lot of nukes on the poles because there's a lot of water and carbon monoxide in other gases.
And wouldn't also like nuking
underground.
it, like he could possibly that could possibly create like a magnetic field, like stronger, like enhance the
No.
or that's all in the core, no?
Yeah. The magnetic field comes from the core, which we cannot.
Yeah,
We cannot interact with.
that would involve some like mega structural like engineering. We would
I mean, I don't even know how to even get that.
yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're nowhere near that shit.
No, I'm not
like
anyway.
that, we're like like two and a
Nor
half
should we
centuries
be.
off.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
What you don't think we could be
level?
you don't think we could be like the Forerunners, man, making shield worlds and shit?
That'd be terrifying.
But what he wants to do is nuke the poles, release all those gases. So because right now Mars has little to no atmosphere. So by creating those gases, and those gases kind of surround the planet and then you get an atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now, like the average temperature in Mars, it's something like 60 to 80 below zero.
Yeah.
So in some parts of Mars during the summer times in Mars, it can get up to like 40, 60 degrees Fahrenheit above zero in some areas, but it doesn't last because
So
then
it feels good.
yeah. So yeah, we kind of if we could actually be walking around like now.
But then we would,
but-
like during the winter months, we would probably need to be underground with like fusion reactors and stuff to keep us sustained.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that's what he wants to do. Create an atmosphere, and then after that, and kind of like once you create the atmosphere, it will kind of create like a greenhouse effect.
That's actually really
in Mars,
interesting.
which will then warm up the planet, and once it warms up, then maybe we can start. Once it warms up, then we can the planet is gonna start raining because Mars does have ice. There's ice, there's snow, and then we can maybe can start raining, and if it rains, well, water and ta-da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually is really interesting because I would have thought that like the thing I would be worried about with nuke, you think about how hot it actually is. Well, the radiation also would be kind of terrifying, but it vaporizes most stuff. I mean, you think about
No, I mean maybe.
Yeah.
But it will just be vaporized on at an instant because we just want the gases pretty much.
yeah.
So we want to.
So it would probably like be a smaller yield nuke, like not something you're not looking at like the bomb we use for like a Hiroshima or something like that.
Dude, I don't know if you know,
those
Jay.
bombs were actually pretty weak.
Those bombs are pretty weak compared to the
they're
compared to the
definitely-
minute compared to the minute. Yeah, the
Tsar.
But like, I used to work in the missile field, so our current or like our
Oh no, our current bombs are way.
no,
Much
they're,
more
they're
way more.
huge. But like
well,
the biggest
'cause
bomb
they
recorded is the Cesar one from
Do you know-
Russia.
Yeah.
Do you know how big of a crater that bomb can create?
They were actually they were talking about they gated it off of TNT. It's like how much they about
Oh, yeah, like how many-
and it's stupid. I was just looking at
I
it,
know.
was like, what?
I mean, when
Why?
sometimes whenever they say, oh, like like this thing is the equivalent to like 1 million pounds of TNT. This thing is equivalent to 1 billion pounds of TNT. Once you get to those numbers, it's you cannot even comprehend. But here's how to comprehend. If the Tsar bomb exploded here in Aurora, Chicago, that is about 40 miles away from Aurora, the crater, Aurora will be the center of the crater. The crater would still reach to the Lake Michigan, 40 miles away.
Yeah, that'd be.
What up,
pretty
Holly?
ridiculous.
You could, yeah. The crater that thing creates, you can literally drive at 70 miles an hour from one side to the other, in 2 hours. That's how long it would take you.
That's exactly. Well,
That's how powerful that
those
bomb
are
is.
one of those bombs that it is. Why? Why? There's
For
absolutely
the
no,
glory of Satan.
there's never any reason for that.
I mean, it's just one of those
And you know,
things,
and
man.
you know
It's
who
just,
owns that bomb?
What?
Do you know who owns it?
Russia.
Yes.
Yeah, Russia.
We don't own anything like that big because
We do have big bombs though.
Yeah,
The Minuteman ones, I've seen those. Like, I used to work.
Moabs.
I used to work with them. They're huge. They're fucking big. Also, I mean, like one of no, I'm not gonna give away secrets here.
don't worry, no one's listening.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Our podcast is small.
Shut up.
Or maybe this will make us big.
Shut the fuck.
And then you see me go missing, right?
No,
Oh, yeah.
thinking about that actually makes me laugh because when you think about the propaganda, like where our parents' generation, they always talk about like the nuclear fallout, and I actually love that about the Fallout games. We were sitting there laughing. You know, he's always got his thumb up, and that's actually the thing is a lot of people don't understand. What you were supposed to do is if you could still see the mushroom cloud, you're too close, and a lot of people don't understand
dead.
that you're
Run.
dead. Like, you might get lucky that you have minimum nuclear radiation, but
I think it's crazy. Like with nukes, how on testing facilities or whatnot, their shadows will be burnt onto the walls. That's fucking wild.
Well, that's one of those things I think makes it an inhumane weapon. Just like, even if it is quick, it's just like, dude, that's. I don't want to be a shadow person on the wall.
It's quick if you are within the blast zone.
Yeah, no,
because after the blast zone, for instance, with that Tsar bomb, like I said, if it exploded in Aurora, like Chicago would still be completely destroyed because that's just a crater. And then anybody within I think within about 100 miles away from Aurora, they will get 3rd-degree burns.
Oh yeah, no,
and I mean those people, they're the ones who are gonna suffer because at least we're gonna get a quick painless death. They are gonna get a slow, and then people 200 miles away, they're gonna die. They're gonna get even a slower, more painful death because of all the radioactivity and all the cancers that they're gonna get.
Yep.
Oh, they're gonna get screwed.
Well, that's what they always say.
Worse.
Like, when it comes to bombs, the one thing you want to do is if you're gonna be in the blast radius, try to get closer to it.
Totally,
you want to go as quick as you can.
If you know it's coming, might as well
just let it go. Like, you won't know.
Yeah. Because I mean, because of those, because the missiles that carry those bombs, they're pretty much in space, and by the time you hear about them, when they announce like, oh, it's coming down.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's coming down and the U.S. ends up blowing it up before it reaches the ground. I mean, there's still all that radiation. There's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
So, and speaking about radiation,
I don't know how that ties in, segues into the next subject. But let's talk about drugs. Cocaine is for recreational use in Mexico. Bring us up to speed.
Asterisk. Huge asterisk. So right now there's like this one huge news that in Mexico, it has been decriminalized and people can use it for recreational use. Cocaine.
So you're telling me we're gonna go to Mexico and have a wild party? Let's go.
Well, let me tell you something about it. So far, yes, it is true and it is legal for 2 people in the entire country only.
What, for 2 people? What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. The news.
Oh, yeah, it's like, hey, you know what? How corrupt that they'll pay their government to say, hey, make this shit legal for just like me, my homie.
Pretty much.
Yeah, fuck everyone else.
Yeah, because here's the thing. They're not saying who it is, and they're not saying why. But they just said, it's been decriminalized and only 2 individuals they have permission to consume cocaine. They cannot sell. Yeah, well, that's pretty much the only thing. They cannot sell it, but they can consume. Sell or distribute. They can consume.
Probably some cartel heads or something, man.
Most likely.
Yeah.
So.
Or else they'll chop everyone's heads off.
I mean, I kind of see it like a progress now that it's at least a law. Because I do, even though I don't do drugs, I do.
Are you sure?
Yes. Wait, hold on.
Fine.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. No, because I don't use them, but I do believe that drugs should be apt for just for the market.
No.
What's up, dude?
Join in the show.
Fuck this show.